Welcome back. Here's the second part of our cell division talk, and now we're going to be talking about meiosis, the other form of cell division. Meiosis is different from mitosis because this is the kind of cell division that creates a gamete or a sex cell, basically. So the kind of things that allow sexually reproducing animals to reproduce. So it's going to divide the nucleus and reduce the amount of chromosomes to half. That's essential, right? When you're forming a new person from two different people's DNA, is that you only have half the DNA in each cell that combine to create one whole organism. Okay? It's very important in sexual reproduction, and it's going to involve combining the genetic information of two different parents together to create a genetically distinct individual. This is important because it creates diversity in the species and keeps us healthier, safer, and allows us to change and adapt over time. Here's some terminology you're going to need to know. The first being diploid, and that's a cell that has two sets of chromosomes. Right? In humans, that would be 23 pairs or 46 total. And then there's a thing called a haploid, which has half that amount of chromosomes, so they only have the 23 in them, and that's what a sex cell is. It's a haploid cell. It only has half the information of a total human being. Chromosome pairing. A homologous pair is when each chromosome in a pair are identical to each other. They carry the genes for the same trait. Only one pair of chromosomes differ, and those are the sex chromosomes. The Y chromosome is much smaller and has less genetic information on it than the X chromosome, which is the female chromosome. So the phases of meiosis are very similar to mitosis. However, there are two stages of it, and there's only one replication. So you're gonna end up with half the amount in each cell. Here's kind of a nice little. That's not a very good picture right now, but this is a way of how it looks. So let's start with meiosis I. So as you can see, in meiosis, the first part of meiosis, we're going to go through the original stages of mitosis. The chromosomes are going to condense, the homologous chromosomes are going to pair up with each other, and each pair is going to end up with 4 sister chromatids. In metaphase, all those chromatids are going to line up in the center. However, there is something special that happens in meiosis, which is called, it didn't say that. It's called crossing over. If you look at the picture here, the yellow chromosome and the red chromosome have swapped parts of their DNA. That happens, and that's part of the process of creating genetically different individuals. Each sex cell is going to have slightly different DNA sets than the others. Anaphase, that's when they're going to be pulled apart. So now each cell is going to have one full set of DNA. And then the daughter nuclei are going to be formed. The cells are going to split in half, and now you've got 2 full cells. They are not actually haploid at this point. They are still diploid cells. Now in the second part of meiosis, those daughter cells are going to undergo a second division, but so that each cell will end up with only half. There's not going to be an additional replication in this part, and that's important to notice. Remember, every cell that's made in meiosis is only going to have half the genetic information. So prophase 2, they're going to form the spindle fibers again. They're all going to line up at the center, get pulled apart in anaphase. And then in telophase, you're going to have now 4 different cells that came from that one original diploid cell. And each one of those cells is only going to have half the genetic information. Right? That's a new sex cell. Okay? So meiosis is producing daughter cells that have half the number of chromosomes as the parent. These daughter cells are produced by meiosis, and they are not genetically identical to one another. Each one is going to be slightly different. That's why if you have a brother or a sister and you have the same mom and dad, you're not going to be exactly the same. It's because each cell is going to be different. In meiosis, cell division takes place twice, but replication only occurs one time. This is due to the value of variation. Differences between members of a population are good genetically. Meiosis results in the random separation of chromosomes and gametes, and that causes a diverse population that allows us to be stronger and survive longer. Thank you for watching and learning about meiosis and mitosis. After this, we're going to be talking about animal kingdoms, DNA, and evolution. That'll be the end of our section on biology, and then we'll be moving on to a new science. Hope you're enjoying it so far. Have a great day.